These are old Pullman standard coaches, made in 1969, 1970s. This is one of the older 1500 series cars that they've been in service for a very long time. 52 years now. And as the service span of these increases, I do believe we'll be facing problems. It's just we're at a point where it's just a matter of time when they will be pulled from service and decommissioned. As CRC cars are being put in service, I feel that it is becoming more apparent that we will have to say goodbye to these. 62. I did the count. It's 31 seats across on both sides, making it 62 seating capacity. It's not including the standing capacity, which is much higher. But again, these are very old pieces of equipment. 69 feet in length, 10 feet in width, and it's just again a matter of time. They have already had their overhaul during the red lifespans, and during that overhaul, it did give additional seat capacity because originally, from what I recall, the 1500s did have double cabs, so like the cab in the front and the cab at the end on both sides of the car. But during the what's it called, the retrofitting and the remodels, because as it gets been older to service, they removed those and gave more capacity for seating. This allowed for it to become a proper EMU, just like any other car. Two car pair EMUs, as usual. And again, I do believe it's just a matter of time before we will say goodbye to these Pullman stand-ups. It's a new era I think we're facing. As time goes on, we will have more variety and more foreign equipment. As we've seen with Count USA, CRC, and Simons, we're not really seeing American-grade manufactured equipment anymore. Well, actually I would phrase that. American origin. They are manufactured in the United States due to the laws that we have in place, but these are foreign designs. CRC being Chinese, and Count USA being Spanish. Bombardier still be here for quite a long while more, maybe another 10-15 years, but just like we saw with the Hawker series on the 1200 series on the orange line, just a matter of time before we see this transition as well on the red line. I don't think there will be the same major monthly shutdown that we will see just like on the orange line, but there will be restrictions and periods of maintenance, just as we have had for the past 2 years. The MBTA kind of really fumbled the ball with this because they, especially with ridership being so low early in the pandemic, there was possibility for them to properly add on and do service changes to equipment and just general maintenance that need to be done. But now it's not really the case. Ridership is improving again, and as these periods of time are shut down for these shutdowns, it will hit ridership immensely. And I don't want ridership to be the main focus on everything, but it is a major factor. And that's just the reality of life for a lot of people. Everyone will have the ability to just switch from one service to another in an instant. These things take time, and that's why a lot of people are reliant. There's this reliance that it has to be acknowledged, and if we don't acknowledge it, then we will just have these problems. There are no austerity measures in place, and there seemingly a lack of general vision beyond just expansion. There's all these projects at the moment that don't really help solve some core problems that the T has, both in design and also in just general care. The design is not the most perfect. There is a good structure, but the T isn't properly structuring around what has already been built, and it wants to add on to it to the system in a way that I feel is incompatible. You know, the way that everything really forces its way into downtown. What the T has been doing, at least with the buses, is forcing it to the Longwood Medical Center. This is the Longwood Medical Area, and this is just going to create another problem. You know, we should be working to build around the communities that already exist and through the systems that have already been built, and not only to strengthen them, but to give cause for that expansion around that type of way. Again, a lot when it comes to the subways, they aren't bad in general. You know, the whole spacing of it is fairly good, with the exception of maybe a couple stations, locations like Downtown Crossing, Park Street, and South Station. Like, yeah, I can see why that may be a problem, but that whole, you know, rule of thumb that we didn't really understand was put in place here in Boston a long time ago. You know, about 1 mile, a mile and a half per station. That's a really good rule of thumb for subways, and we have a good style like that here, and that should be acknowledged, and we should use that as a blueprint to be able to create a network where we have the frequency and we have the reliability, or else we will see this continual decline in membership, and we will see this continual decline in, you know, reliability. We need to have reliable transit, and we need to have that trust, but at the moment we don't have that. A lot of people don't. I still put my faith into the MBTA, and I still hope that, you know, with every passing day, they make, you know, better steps. But I don't always see it. But I do hope for it. As the era of these Pullmans set aside and come to pass, I hope that's also a sign of change, and the type of change that we need. But you know, those are some of my closing thoughts, and hope you guys, hope that's good. I don't know how to end this, but I did on a whim. It's the night train, so I feel a bit more comfortable speaking like this. But yeah, we can only hope for the best, and just to remain active, remain vigilant. There are groups and people out there who have the resources and knowledge even more than I do, and with the confidence as well. And I want that to happen. For everyone who came to the end, you know, thank you very much for watching. And I've seen the viewership in the past couple of days, and just thank you. Thank you for watching. You know, you don't have to like, you don't have to comment, don't subscribe. I'm thankful. Thank you. Have a good day, guys. Good night.